Module 5, Understanding My Community. I work at Shawnee Mission South High School in Overland Park, Kansas in the Shawnee Mission School District. Um, we've had in the last 12 months some recent contract disputes which didn't just impact teachers and staff but impacted our student population, our parents and community got very involved in those contract disputes. So that has been something that is impacting our culture. We have a very traditional education, like our community supports a very traditional education. Our PTA administration are our primary communicators from our building. Watchdogs is a self-developed community group made up of both community members and employees of the district, and they tend to be pushing the envelope regularly on and bringing in some challenging issues with the district. Our NEA is also a strong proponent. What I do recognize is that although these four groups do communicate very regularly, our district, from the district standpoint, does not push out a lot of communications as frequently, and I think that our community would prefer to have more communication. We currently are reflecting the national trends with our economy and with our unemployment. Just the ideas of how COVID has impacted the nation is reflected within our community. We have contract issues and then a lot of pushback with technology usage in our district from the community and parents. We are a primarily white district with a growing Hispanic population. Some of our common ideas and attitudes: education is really important in our community. School athletics is very important to our community. We have a lot of support for our athletic programs and a lot of turnout for our athletic events. We have very active parent community in our district as a whole, and the district asks for community feedback frequently, and we have a working community. Most people are working parents. The community often influences a change in our policies and procedures with their pushback or their questions or their philosophies, and technology is a large issue for our district at this point in time. We are the third largest district in Kansas with 27,000 students. 38% qualify for free and reduced lunch. That's as a district. In our building, we have about 30% that qualify for free and reduced lunch. Over half the population has above a bachelor's degree. Our average age of our residents is 38 years old, and we are a primarily working community. Our student diversity is primarily white and Hispanic, 9% Black, 4% Asian. We also have 34% minority enrollment at Shawnee Mission South specifically, and we're about 50-50 male and female. Our communication channels for our building itself, we use Twitter, email, newsletters. But as our community is pulling information about our district as a whole and our building, they're looking at the Kansas City Star, they're looking at the Shawnee Mission Post. 70% of our population is Hispanic, so meeting language needs is important. We have everything translated to Spanish that we do send home to parents and families. Community groups that are heavily involved and support our building: Rotary Club not only supplies speakers every year for our career fair, but they also support our building by offering grants. We've had a few garden towers and a few other projects financially supported through Rotary Club in Overland Park. Our community influences the policy at the district level, so they often share their challenges and their questions about what the district is doing. Digitally Wise is a self-made parent group that questions frequently the apps that are approved and the digital use within our schools. Child Protective Services, mentoring, and social workers all support our students that are struggling. And then the Shawnee Mission Education Foundation supports our teachers every year with grants and helps fund things that teachers need to make their classrooms better learning environments. Our main leadership organizations that are the most communicative are the SMSD Watchdogs and NEA of Shawnee Mission. They tend to agree on their philosophies, but the Watchdogs are a little bit more direct, and NEA is a little more professional in their releases to the community. Community leaders and characteristics: SMSD Watchdogs, again, they primarily communicate through Facebook and Twitter. They cover all of the board meetings. They dig into anything that seems unjust within the district. SMSD and NEA, they led the issues with our contracts this year, and they are very involved in the happenings and the spending of the district funds. We have a military presence where they come in for recruitment. They're very involved in our career fairs. They're there frequently every week. And PTA is very active in supporting our teachers and our students and our community as a whole. We also have a Fathers Club that is really there to help inform parents, help inform other fathers, but also supports our students through fun activities throughout the year. Economic conditions, primarily as a service industry community, approximately 57% of our population earn under $50,000. It's a single-family residential and multifamily residential area with an average home value of $145,000. And our unemployment, it definitely mirrors what's happening in the country at this time. As you can see here, in 2020, it spiked to 9.3%. It had previously been going down over the last few years. Political structure, can we separate politics from education? In our district, it is expected that we do separate our political views from our district positions, just that we allow students to make their own decisions and help them find information. However, a lot of our leadership groups tend to share their political values and their philosophies through their communications with social media. More money is spent at the state and local levels on education than any other function of government. Our aid to our districts, our school buildings, or property taxes. So we recently just got the CARE funds. We're using that funding. Our state and national understanding is that we obviously function off of a lot of taxpayers' dollars. We make a big effort to share our story, to share our personal day-to-day of what's happening in our classrooms with our PTA and our parents and our stakeholders as frequently as possible so that they recognize what their taxpayer money is paying for and that education is ever changing. So I think that's one issue we face is that the buy-in from our community to the changing viewpoint of education and the changing day-to-day of education. Local politics, the amount of money that is available in each building or feeder pattern is very different. Our PTA foundations tend to fund apps and programs and activities for students in different buildings in a different way. So there isn't an equity in technology in that manner as far as exposure to different apps and supports. And often there is not an equity in some accessibility to activities as well when we have different PTAs funding different amounts within different buildings. And then the redrawing of boundaries. Our boundaries are super bizarre. So our boundaries definitely, definitely stretch wide and far. And so I think some of that also creates some tensions about which school buildings people will attend. Extra sources of information, KSDE, our school website, our district website provides board meeting agendas and minutes. I've worked in several different districts, and this is the first district I've been in that the happenings of the board meetings is people are very aware of, and our district initiatives, as well as our district mobile app. Power structures would be the Board of Education, the NEA, and then school alumni is super involved in our school. Culture has become a highlighted issue for our building. It is, as of course, on a national level as well. Supporting our teachers in diversity training, multicultural awareness is a high priority for us right now. Really implementing those culturally responsive teaching methods from Zaretta Hammond. Those are some of the things we are really focusing on and putting a lot of intent into. Our community is largely conservative. Parents are involved in what happens at our school. They know what's happening. If we release advisory curriculum, they know what that curriculum entails. They are just very, very vigilant for the most part, and staff is also very involved in the policy of our district. Overall, our community is super supportive and involved in our building. Families that live in the area live there for a long time. They send multiple children through our building. We have several teachers that have graduated from our high school and then returned to teach at our school. We have a low staff turnover, so we have a lot of staff that really, really do truly enjoy being there, and I think that speaks widely to our community as well. Currently, the district uses Thought Exchange frequently to, it's an app or a program that gathers community input, and then they take that and it helps to guide policy decision making. We also provide the Title I surveys, and those are given every year.